Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures, etc. And I know I've been away for a little while, but we have been totally rehabbing our backyard and it looks so much better, but man, what a lot of work. We've also had some sadness in our family. We lost our sweet kitty a couple of weeks ago, and then that was pretty awful, but then we went on a short vacation, so now I'm back and we're pretty much done with the yard, and so I'm ready to get started. And I thought I would start out with some flow journals since I've been having some requests for those. So what I did this time, if you've never seen a flow journal before, I will explain it to you in a little bit. But what I did this time is I made two of each season. And what I mean by season is, like, this is a spring one, so it has like spring colors and spring magazine images. The others have more of a, like, a summer is brighter, so spring is more pastels. Then we have fall with the beautiful fall colors and winter with winter colors. So by seasonal, I don't mean holiday, because everybody, has their own idea of what they want to do for a holiday. So I just kept it to the natural seasonal colors that we see around us. Okay, so I'm going to show you one of each. They basically have the same types of things in them, but just different colors. And so anyway, so they all have a little Brad here holding a doily. I've got some lace attached to the front, some spring fabric on the spine, and then the base of it, this is a hanging file folder. So I'm just going to take the Brad off and take it apart, and I will show you what's inside, and you can get an idea of what's in the rest of them too. So we have a nice piece of lace here. You open it up. Inside the cover is wallpaper, and that is true of all of them. They just have like different colors based on the season. So each one has 3 signatures, all with different seasonal colored scrapbook paper, kind of more of a cardstock, so it's not real thin. Open it up. Each one has a bag with some items in it that you can use in whatever way you want. So we have some playing cards, a pretty coaster, some what are these called? The library cards are in here. Just anything that you might be able to use in a junk journal. Here are some images of butterflies, some music paper, some calendar pages, or this is actually from a Birds and Blooms magazine. And then dictionary, vintage typing. This is from a French, kind of a readers to teach French. And then an adult coloring page. There's some fabric and ribbon in each one. Some coffee dyed paper doily. This is some handmade paper that I made. And then some napkins. And then each signature also has just extras. So we have like a time card and a bingo card. And in this CD folder, you'll find vintage stamps plus some seasonal stamps that are more current, and some washi tape, and just some different things, wallpaper scraps, paper, also just regular paper scraps that fit the color theme. And also there are these are from like an upholstery sample book that you can use to make pockets or whatever you like. So each signature is full of different items. This one, here's another one of the, came from a wallpaper not a wallpaper, upholstery sample book. And this is some vintage player piano music, and I did cover the edges with some washi tape, but it comes off really easy. It just was to protect it. From a calendar page, I'll get to this in a second. some sewing pattern, more vintage music sheets. These are from magazines, some vintage, from a vintage atlas, another little vintage book page. This is shorthand. And from like a trigonometry book, more ribbons and fabrics that are seasonal, some lace, and some playing cards, you know, like from games, and flashcards, some ledger paper, and then we have some buttons and embroidery floss in the color scheme, napkins, more fabric and lace. And this is from a vintage yearbook from like 1946 or somewhere around that time. Some sequins. And then in the third signature, we have just some random things. These are rub-ons and more of the player piano. There's some vintage rent receipts, or, you know, just regular receipts. This is from a style book, decor. This is a vintage ledger that has, I mean, it's real. This is not a copy. It's from 1938. More vintage music, pictures of birds. This is from a stamp collection catalog, and some vintage book pages from children's books. And then also some more scrapbook paper that's not cardstock. And again, they're just filled with just some random things that are fun to use. This is a desk calendar from 1956. More napkins, a coffee dyed CD case, and then the other half of these vintage pages. So there are lots of things in here. This is very old recipe card, handwritten, and then just some more things like from a scrapbook pad where you can cut the page or cut the tags out. Okay, so that is this one, and then these have like these little tiny doilies and some butterflies, and oh, let me show you this one thing in here. This here is a slide decal, and I have a video on how to use slide decals, which I'll link at the end. And then just some random little bits and pieces that you can use in your journal. Okay, everything is loose in here. Nothing is attached permanently. The lace on the front of each one of these, I just have some removable dots, like glue dots, that you can, you know, just to kind of keep the lace from flopping over, but it's easy to remove it and it shouldn't damage anything. So let's just put this all back together by attaching the doily to the front. And we'll put this pretty little brad back through it and close it back up. And there you have it. So that is a spring one. So I have two spring flow journals, and like I said, pretty much everything, all the things in it are similar, just obviously for magazine pages and things like that, there's gonna be different magazine pages, different calendar pages, different book pages, but all from like the same publication. Okay, so the next one is summer, and this one is brighter, more jewel tone type things, type colors. Oh, a little leg broke off the brad, so I'll probably replace this brad, but this one might still work. It's rather pretty. And again, everything in here is loose. All the same types of things, though, are in here, so you'll see very similar items, just more brighter. Coffee dyed junk mail envelope, different napkins from this bird directory, more from that that decor book. Bingo cards, another piece of scrapbook paper. So like I said, all of it has similar items. They're just going to be different in that they're different pages, like from the same publication. Brighter washi tape, brighter fabrics, beautiful napkins. I love these. So reds and yellows and colors that you would expect to see in summertime. Okay, so that's the summer one. I'm not going to put this all back together yet because I'm going to replace the brad. And then here is a fall one. Again, held together the same way, but just using different lace. Something that's a little more, not as white lace, more browns and creams. A little bit heavier lace. And then the fabric for the spine. And again, nothing is in here permanently. Everything can be taken out and done, you know, with whatever way you want. For the spine, I did use some double back tape to put it together so it would stay, but it's easy to take apart. I just didn't want to use a safety pin because you can't really fold it. But look at these beautiful, beautiful fall images in here. More fabrics, coffee dyed paper, ledger, junk mail, more napkins, and again, the same types of things. So we have some embroidery floss and colors of fall for the buttons. Just tucked in there. So very similar, just different colors. Take that one. There we go. Isn't that pretty? It really makes you want to just sort of sit down at your craft table and just play. So we have, again, pattern paper in every one, vintage music sheet in every one, napkins befitting the season, wallpaper. This is adhesive. It came from an adhesive paper pack, so it's like 4x6. So what that means is that you can cut something out and then peel the back off. I would still probably use glue just to make sure. And then pull that out. So it's all held together with paper clips and ribbon. So that's fall. And again, we have, in this one, we have some leaves, and there's some more slide decals that are more in the color. We've got some of these little wooden, this is a key, but I think there's some other wooden, like these are leaves. And here's a little tip. If you soak these, they come from the Dollar Tree, and if you soak them in some water for a few minutes, they come apart in layers, and I think each one is 4 layers, and then you can use them 4 different ways. So I thought that was a pretty fun little tip when I first learned it. Okay, so that's fall. These are all going to be in my Etsy shop. Set that one aside. And then here's winter. So more winter colors. You can see the spine. So we have more blues and white, a little bit of glitter, you know, for the snow. Like this has a little bit of glitter in it, or shiny. So we have some This is from a calendar from December. Little from a children's book about Jack Frost. Beautiful winter-themed fabrics, colors you would expect to see in winter. And then here are the buttons and the floss. So pretty. I just love these colors. This is from November, very wintry. Well, because of the way the calendar is made, it's November on this side, but the picture's from December. And then this has some beautiful glittery, kind of look like snow and ice. More vintage music and player piano. You have this beautiful wintry, cozy scene. Gorgeous napkins. More handmade paper. CD case. I love this too. This has a little bit of glitter, and I don't know if you can see it in the picture. I mean, in the frame, the video, but it has like this really pretty green, sort of glittery. Anyway, it's really gorgeous. Winter scenes with snow. Gorgeous fabric. This is from December 1956. Little calendar. Cute little winter napkin, little red bird on some birches. So you can see there's no, like I said before, there's no holiday items in here because everybody has their own idea about holidays, and I didn't want to presume. And we don't actually observe holidays in our house, and we know that everybody is different as to what holidays they do. So here's some snowflake rub-ons, and then that's it. We all, and like I said, they all have these little slide decals and things like that. So you can, I encourage you to watch the video on how to do slide decals, and maybe some of you already know. I just know that when I first found them, I was pretty excited. Okay, so these are all going to be in my Etsy shop. Should be later today. It's Tuesday, but you might not see it till Wednesday because it takes me a while to edit the video and get everything up. So, but these will all be in my shop. So some of you may wonder, what do you do with a flow journal? So I made one for myself. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to use a flow journal to make your own individual journal. Basically any way you want. So I'm hoping to give you some tips and some tricks and maybe some ideas that I hope will inspire you. Since fall is upon us, I decided to make an extra fall one, and I'll be doing that in my next video. If not this week, then next week. I've got a full schedule coming up for this week. So if I get a chance, I'll do it this week. If not, it'll be next week. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you would like to purchase any of these flow journals in my Etsy shop, there will be a link in the description box below. And I hope to see you in my next video. So have a great day, everybody. Let the serendipity find you, and I will see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.